Thank you again for connecting with today's The Reframed Brain podcast episode. This is Erica Savage, the founder and host, extending a personal invitation for you to join our community where you can receive my 5 best brain health tips and a playlist curated with you in mind. Please go to thereframedbrain.com. Thank you again and be well.
Well, happy Monday. Today is June 24th, 2024. I am Erica Savage, the founder, host, and CEO of the Reframed Brain. Welcome, my friend. If this is your first time coming into our community, what we do is we center brain health and unseen injuries. And in that capacity, we set forward with tools, with resources, strategies to help people optimize their brain health. If you're watching us by YouTube, please indeed do subscribe to the channel and set up that notification so you'll know every month when we do share 2 episodes so you can be connected with those. Also, if you're listening to us, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review so we continue to expand our community. And if you're not yet a part of the Facebook community, go over to the Reframe Brain so that you can get even more resources and be welcomed by our community. So I have the distinct honor to welcome our first guest for this month of June, Dr. Kathryn Tapper, who is a family medicine physician, but more importantly, you need to know that she is a holistic holistic health and wellness curator. I got the opportunity to meet Dr. KTap last year in the DMV area, and so super excited that she is joining us here virtually on the Reframe Brain. So welcome, Dr. Tapper, or as you are affectionately known as Dr. KTap. It's wonderful to have you here on the Reframe Brain.
Yes, thank you, Erica. It's so good to be here finally to have this conversation. And it's just been a joy to get to know you over the past year and to share with your audience today.
Oh gosh, same to you. And so we'll go ahead and open it up and have you share with the Reframe Brain audience, how did you come into the medical space as a change agent?
Yes. So first of all, I always knew that I was going to be a doctor. First, I thought I was going to be a pediatrician, but life changes and I am a family medicine physician now. And I've always had that background at my core, a holistic approach. And I believe, actually, no, I know that it's because I grew up in the Caribbean. So I'm originally from Jamaica and came to the United States after high school to start college on my pursuit of becoming a physician. And with that, I also was diagnosed with a chronic illness, chronic kidney disease, at the age of 19. And so along the journey of taking care of my health and my studies and knowing how to, I like to say, harmonize the two, I've learned so many things along that journey that now I'm helping, high achieving, purpose-driven women to glow in their wellness, to go from that overwhelming feeling, that exhaustion, that carrying all of that weight on their shoulders, to know that they don't have to carry all of that weight. They can feel that calm, that confidence, and that connection within themselves to truly thrive in life.
Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your own personal health challenges that you have moving forward. Definitely want to take an opportunity to honor that and that you use that as a springboard so that you could better understand not only your body, but the human body and blending in. You mentioned that your home is Jamaica. So bringing in the wellness approach from your country, your home country, into this home country of the United States and practicing in a, and you said something, harmonizing. Harmony is definitely something that I've connected with, not necessarily equity, but if it's all working in harmony, then it's working for our good. So really do honor that you took that approach and are taking that approach in medicine and in a way that you practice. And so having said, shared all that you said, particularly around high achieving people that are suffering with exhaustion, perhaps not minding their own wellness. Could you talk to us a little bit about, as a family physician, you've seen the body heal in extraordinary ways, adapt and heal. And for me, that's something that I personally bore witness to in my own last few years here after my accident and the brain injury, watching my brain go from the functionality of a toddler and how that impacted me, mind, body, and spirit, to being back to a place where I'm running again, I'm able to drive my car again. And I do that with the adaptations that I've learned as somebody who has a chronic condition, because a brain injury is a chronic condition. So could you talk to us, since we both have, albeit different, chronic conditions that we manage and that we have adapted to and through. Could you talk to us a little bit, Dr. KTap, about 3 essential habits as a physician that you would share with the audience to help optimize our brain and our gut health, especially as we mature in age and perhaps people run into challenges, conditions that they did not perhaps suffer with when they were a bit younger?
Yes, absolutely. I will do that. But before I do, I just want to say that you're just a great example of how the body can heal itself and how that wellness lies within you if you're paying attention to that and knowing that and taking the steps intentionally to really advocate for your health and your overall well-being. So I want to give you your flowers as well to say you are definitely representing that space in a beautiful way. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So for the 3, I actually have 4, if that's okay.
Please do, as many as you're willing to share.
So the first one I would say is rest.
Say it again, Dr. KTap.
Rest leads to success. That is what I will say.
Yes.
That is one of the ways that we can optimize our brain health and our overall well-being. In the society in which we live in, we place a lot of value on busyness. We have it completely twisted. We need to be placing value within ourselves and our well-being, because who is doing the busyness, so to speak? Right? We're intellectual beings, we know, but are we truly making the connections and taking the necessary step in order for us to optimize our well-being? Rest is essential for that. And what I will say about it is it's the quality of rest.
Talk a little bit about that, Dr. KTap, if you don't mind.
So, you've probably heard that we should get 8 hours of rest each night. But again, we're individuals, so that might look differently to everyone else. When we're children, we definitely need more hours of rest because children are growing. When we're older, we don't necessarily need as much rest in terms of time, but that deep quality sleep is what is essential for your health and your well-being. I won't go into all the science behind it, but I just want people to know that rest truly equals success.
Amen.
So that would be number 1 for an essential healthy habit to optimize brain health. Number 2, we all know that nutrition is important.
Yes.
We all know that already. What I will say, especially as it relates to Alzheimer's dementia, is that, we think, the general public thinks that that Alzheimer's dementia is associated with genetics. That is false. Only a small percentage of Alzheimer's disease is genetically related. So what does that mean? That means that, again, we have the power to create a space where we can start today to prevent Alzheimer's disease by eating foods that are healthy, for example, in omega fatty acids, walnuts, blueberries, salmon, those sorts of things. but also making sure that you are challenging your brain along the way as well.
Absolutely.
So that is very important for us to know, because we can say, okay, we can throw our hands up and say, well, if it runs in the family, then that's it. And then you're living in fear, expecting it to happen at some point, when we need to take charge to say, I can do something about it now. So that's number 2. Number 3 kind of ties into what we're just saying, which is the huge one, something that is so important, and it is consumption. What are you consuming? So yes, what are you consuming in terms of nutrition, but also what are you consuming? You got it. What you're seeing, what you're listening to.
Yes, Dr. KTap.
You agree, right? Wholeheartedly.
You're preaching my message. I love this. I absolutely love this. Talk about it, Dr. KTap.
We are not mindful enough of the things that we are consuming.
Talk about it.
Social media, television, even if you're not seeing it and you're going to bed with the TV, it's rooted in your subconscious. So you might be thinking, why do I feel so anxious? Or why am I so angry? Think about what you are consuming. That is going to be a big part. That might not be the total answer, but that is a big part of your overall mental well-being. What are you consuming? So it's about being very intentional about what you're thinking, your inner dialogue that you're telling yourself as well. There needs to be a decluttering of limiting beliefs, a decluttering of the things that you're consuming that are not optimizing your well-being.
Yes.
Have to declutter, because guess what? When there is a lot of clutter up here, you cannot have clarity.
No.
Clutter and clarity cannot be in the same space at the same time. So if you're doing and going and not taking the time to rest and bringing back the rest again, and being intentional about what you're consuming, what are you really doing? Where are you really going? It's really important for us to be intentional about prioritizing our mental well-being, our brain health.
Yes.
So important. And then the last one I want to say, we can all do it right now, is breathing.
Ooh, that's my jam.
Intention. My jam too. The breath. We don't utilize our breath enough. It is a useful, essential resource. It's essential because we can't live without breathing. We're doing it unconsciously. But what if we were to optimize the breath and do it consciously? I'm getting you going. Deep breathing is so important on so many different levels. It helps with the mental clarity. How? Because you're refocusing on the present moment of the breath. So you're no longer thinking about what else is going on, what you have to do next, what task you have to do, the upcoming due date of something, right? You're focused right here and right now. The other part of it is that the deep breathing, especially on the inspiration, it helps to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest nervous system. So I would tell your audience, I'm sure you've told them already, but I'll tell them again.
Dr. KTap said, y'all, this has been certified. Tell us, Dr. KTap.
So I would recommend that you do your deep breathing each and every day. Just start your day that way. Not just when you need it, when you're angry or when you're frustrated. Yes, you want to do it at that time, but you want to practice doing it every day so it becomes your new norm. That one thing right there that you can do right now is a life transformative experience. So those are my 4.
Dr. KTap, I just want to say, listen, the Reframed Brain audience, again, you're getting it certified because these are what you just spoke to, Dr. KTap, are the tenets of the Reframed Brain. There are also things that I practice as well. So I'm going to start back and move forward. I'm a big sports fan. And so during my healing and adaptation, when I was able to engage, because I came from a political background, that was not something that I was able to be engaged with. So it was like, oh, sports is kind of like the next thing. And there was at the beginning of 2023, there were, I remember it was the Buffalo Bills. This was January 2023. They were playing on one of the snaps. One of the players was hit and he didn't go get up. He went into cardiac arrest, I believe it was. Damar Hamilton, you remember that?
Yes.
And so I was able to and I watched it. And this is like not even a year after my brain injury. So that was traumatizing in and of itself. But I was able to communicate with the mass audience on how they could bring their parasympathetic nervous system to light and calm themselves. And from that, I came up with the Erica Savage reset breath, which is deep breathing, 16 seconds, inhaling deeply for 6, holding for 4, and exhaling for 6. And it is because, as you said, that was transformative, to use the word that you use. It was a game changer for me in my healing. I operate on slow mornings now. I'm so glad I've been released from booked and busy for now almost 4 years. I'm not going back to that life. Everybody, like, whatever the glamour, whatever the attraction is to that, I am on the other side. It is quite lovely, beautiful. I don't have on any makeup. Like it really, it brings us to a place of wellness.
It does.
So, thank you for the deep breathing. I said working backwards when you talked about the consumption. That was something I immediately understood. And I talk about diet. You mentioned nutrition and diet. Well, that is a part of diet as well. What are we consuming? What are we listening to? What are we allowing to be immersed? What are we giving, as my neuropsychologist Don, the cruel inner bully? What are we giving that fodder? And I think that when we watch, and for me, noticing how many crime shows are on, how many people are like, I mean, like they are taking over the television, and how many people actually fall asleep to watching crime shows, even if they're on cable television or streaming, is deeply upsetting because we're still navigating the pandemic. So there's already anxiety, there's the insomnia, coronasomnia, all of that just kind of exacerbates it. The nutrition piece, the walnuts, the blueberries, the omega-3s, the fatties. I eat walnuts every single day. And then backing up to the last point that you talked about, the rest, but the quality of rest that we're getting, ensuring that where we're going to lay our heads is peaceful. We don't have a bunch of stuff everywhere, the clutter, so we're not getting the clarity. And just to top it off as well, when you mentioned Alzheimer's, that if we're not allowing to the clutter versus the clarity piece, if we're not allowing that lymphatic system in our brain to clean those toxins out of our brain every night because of all of the things that you mentioned, Dr. KTap, then what we are doing is we are increasing our chances at having dementia and then Alzheimer's, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible disease. So thank you so much. Again, this has been certified, the Reframed Brain audience. Like, I am not yet a physician, but these are the things that I practice. Like, I understand very deeply. And to have you come on, Dr. KTap, and say, this is the way to actually be well, to bring wellness into our lives. I so appreciate that.
I have one thing to say. As you were talking, something came to me. And it's this statement, when somebody gets diagnosed and they say, or a family member says, but they ate well and they moved their body and they still, have this diagnosis. I want people to understand that that's a part of the wellness, but not the full story.
Talk about it.
We need to be thinking about our health more holistically. Right now, majority of the population is thinking about their health in one dimension or maybe two dimensions. One dimension would be the physical health, and then secondarily would be the mental health. But as you were talking, as we were having this discussion, what about our environmental health and wellness? Our occupational health and wellness, our financial, we didn't even talk about that, our financial health and wellness. We need to change the script of how we're thinking about our health. And that's one of the things that I am doing, because we need to break that pattern in our perspective. We need to see the overall integrative picture and how one aspect of our health, our mental health, is affected by our financial well-being and vice versa, as an example.
And this is why you are a holistic health and wellness curator, because you're not looking at just a segregated piece. I'm glad that you brought up that piece around when a diagnosis is received, that it's those two things that name would come up, because I've seen that as well. Like, but they did, and it's the box is not just those two things. I have a piece, creating and sustaining your culture of wellness, and it does tap into all of those things, because we can't ignore that those things don't have impact on our entire wellness. So thank you, Dr. KTap, for making sure that that is underscored. And this is why you need to have someone who is a holistic practitioner, also connected with your health story for better health outcomes. And so that brings us right into this challenge that you initiated in the month of June, and it is the 20,000 women in 20 days challenge. So excited about this. This is a transformative challenge, and we chatted a little bit about it the other day. But if you would share with the Reframed Brain audience who or what inspired this challenge, and then what are ways that we could actually be engaged to help support this?
Yes, this is such a wonderful initiative that organically came about. So at the beginning of this month of June, myself and business, as well as a friend who's also a coach of empowering women, we came together and we wanted to do something differently as we're coming to the end of the second quarter of the year, the first half of the year. We just wanted to do something differently. And she had started the focus of three themes: loving, giving, and serving. And so we decided that we would just shift our perspective for the month of June to focusing on service. Instead of focusing on all of the different to-dos and the financial goals and all of that for the month, let's just pour into other women based on the mission that we have. And so we came up with 20,000, serving and reaching 20,000 women in 20 days, whether that is in person, virtually, all different platforms. And when I came off that Zoom call with her, I was guided. God told me, why don't you go public with this? And I said, okay, I'm going to be obedient. I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm going to follow through. And so I did that at the beginning of the month. And it's been so rewarding for people to support me on this journey, giving of themselves, being a part of the impact. And that's what I love about this. There's so many things I've learned about myself and this journey. But one of the things is just that impact and other people giving as a result of that. Taking myself, my little old human self, out of the picture and really giving to other people. That is life-changing as well, I will say.
Oh gosh, absolutely. And so when you talk about being in service to others, like what does that look like in the 20,000 women in 20 days challenge?
So one of the things that I'm doing is just showing up live each and every day to teach something around holistic health and wellness for the high achieving, purpose-driven woman.
Okay.
So whether it's the dimension of mental health, financial wellness, environmental wellness, I teach different topics associated with each of those dimensions of wellness to help guide women along the way. The other thing that I'm doing as well is just different posts. So that's one of the ways that people can help with this movement is you can go to my social media platforms. You can share this podcast, this wonderful conversation that we're having today, so that this movement is shared with more and more people. So say you pick 5 women, right? 5 women that you can share this information with would be very helpful.
I love that. I love that. So it is just the same. It's what we act similarly from because I'm from the political space with the voting piece, like tell 5 people
Yes.
because it's the word of mouth. It catches fire. And
Mhm.
you mentioned the lives that you're doing that again, we talked about this whole health is very much so environmental. It's not segmented.
Yes.
It impacts everything so that you are actually taking time, connecting with people, and bringing your knowledge as an MD, pairing it with other people who are subject matter experts in their particular space. And particularly during this time where there's a lot of financial pressure, people are, it's the weather. You're in you're in Florida, if I believe I'm correct.
Yes.
I'm in the DC area. And so we have extraordinary temperatures in our respective states at the time. So that there are people that are looking to kind of like stay cool, like there's pressure coming from every side,
Yes.
that you are actually bringing these people in and harmonizing the message around these are things that you can do to improve your own outcome. So we
Absolutely.
definitely, the Reframe Brain audience will definitely be in support. This interview, segments of this interview will be in the Reframe Brain community. And so we're definitely going to be urging our community members to share it as well.
I
So
appreciate it.
because you are, oh gosh, absolutely, we appreciate you. And as we close out, I'm definitely going to ask you for anything that you would love to leave on the proverbial palettes of anyone that's watching. Before we do that, I got to get out your social media handles. So,
Mhm.
how can people connect with your work? And then, what are the ways that people can get connected with these lives that you're doing for the 20,000 Women in 20 Days Challenge?
Yes, absolutely. So I am live on LinkedIn. You can look up my name, try to make it very simple, Dr. KTap or Dr. Kathryn Tapper. Instagram is Dr. KTap, DRK and on Facebook it is Dr. KTap as well. So very easy to find me. And I'm also during this movement that's going to continue past the month of June. I already feel it
Okay.
in my spirit. I'm
Right.
having a summer series around Zen leadership. And so my first masterclass is going to be on July the 2nd. So people can tune in and find out more through the social media platforms as well. Oh, or they can actually go to drktap.com/Zen masterclass to sign up.
drktap.com/Zen Masterclass. We'll definitely have that in the show notes, and that'll also be available, the Reframe Brain community, in all of our social media postings. And so your handles, you said you're very easy to find, is DRKTap.
Yep, DRKTap.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
DRKTap. So you all can find Dr. KTap. Social media, LinkedIn is going to be wonderful, and Instagram is going to be wonderful places to find Dr. KTap. Dr. KTap, close us out. It definitely has been a complete honor to have you. Thank you for sharing, but please do close us out, Dr. KTap.
Absolutely. I will close out and say, remember that your wellness lies within you. All you need to do is to show up for yourself so that you can truly glow up in life. And I will add another piece. Show up for others so that they can glow up too. It is the gift that keeps on giving. And we're all here collectively on earth to support each other. And that's what we should be doing. Loving, giving, and serving.
Amen. A wonderful way to end. Thank you, Dr. KTap, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed this conversation. It's been great.
I did as well. I did as well. And for you, the Reframe Brain community, do DR KTap. Do make sure that you're following Dr. KTap, and please share this out. 5 women, and just think about what women are most important in your life. Friends, family members, people that you work with. Please share this information so that not we can only live well, but that we can be well through our loving, our service, and our giving, as Dr. KTap has reminded us. Thank you so much for joining the Reframe Brain. It's such a pleasure having everyone connect. And remember, Reframe Brain community, we do this work, we do this journey one beautiful breath at a time. Be well, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you again for connecting with today's The Reframe Brain podcast episode. This is Erica Savage, the founder and host, extending a personal invitation for you to join our community where you can receive my 5 best brain health tips and a playlist curated with you in mind. Please go to thereframebrain.com. Thank you again and be well.